Hey everybody, today I'm going to do my second review on my Timecutter 50-inch zero turn. I was hoping I'd have better news, but I'm less impressed with it this year than I was last year. I just put the bagger on. I'm impressed with the way the bag is built, but it doesn't work well. I mowed this lawn this morning, which wasn't wet, it wasn't real tall. Plugged that tube 3 times. Every other mower I've had 2 Husqvarnas and a Cub Cadet was my last one. So I have something to compare it to, which maybe a lot of you guys don't. I've had some comments on my first video saying, well, I've got one and I've had good luck with it. And at this point, that was last year, at this point more people have commented they're having the same experience that I'm having for the most part. Probably worse as far as mechanical stuff. The mowing deck on this thing is very well built as far as being welded with good steel. Another thing I found, when you're mowing with it, it doesn't create the vacuum. That's probably one of the problems I'm seeing with it, especially with this bagger on. Even before that tube gets clogged, I just took a blower and blew this off before I did this video because there's so much grass catchings that just land on it. I don't like that neither because this is all open. I just blew this motor out and I couldn't believe the fines that came out of it. You do see once in a while where one of these things will start on fire because of the dry grass. We're getting rained this afternoon, that's why I don't normally mow this during the week. It's normally a weekend thing, it's my house. But this is where I did the last video, so I wanted to do this one. I've mowed my commercial properties twice this year already. I didn't replace the blades yet because they don't need to be replaced. I did sharpen them. I think sharpening them, I think they work better after I sharpened them than they did the day they were brand new. What I'm gonna say is, for a homeowner that has never had one to compare to, they might like this, and that's what I think a few people that have commented on my other video. I admit this isn't sold as a commercial mower. I only mow 2 commercial accounts now. I got rid of the third. I think last year I still had 3. One of them I mow every third week. I have to mow out back. There's a field that doesn't grow real well, isn't the best grass, but the day I do that, it's probably 2.5 acres I'm mowing with it. Other than that, I'm mowing both commercial places together are probably 1.5 acres, and then I got this field I mow down near the house. I mow with a push mower. So I can't justify buying a $13,000 to $15,000 commercial mower for 2 accounts, and I never have. Back when I started this business, started doing this on the side, 97, I had a John Deere that was a commercial mower. I got a good deal on because it needed some repairs and I fixed it. I had a chance to sell that for big money, and I did. After that, I bought, I believe, a Craftsman's, believe it or not, because I'm not that guy that's like, oh, I'm a business guy, I want the best of the best. I want machinery that makes me money, pretty much. I don't care what tool it is. After that, I bought a Husqvarna. Like I said, I keep them 5 or 6 years. And the ones that I'm comparing this to, one of them is my neighbor to the left bought one of my Husqvarnas. The neighbor to the right of me, because we all have pretty good lawns out here. They're not your typical little cubicle lawns. But he bought the Husqvarna, still running. Probably, it's got to be going towards 9 years after I sold it to him. That's still running. I think he's put a battery and maybe a set of blades on it. My Cub Cadet, when I sold it last year, went to my neighbor to the right. The Husqvarna I had before that is down the road, like almost, it's less than a quarter mile away. So all these other mowers are still running, operating with baggers on them that work. All I'm going to say, because I don't want to hurt people's feelings that like Toro, is for a little better than $5 grand, there's way better choices to make. I'm going to be honest with you. Any product I buy for my business or personal use, if it's a piece of crap, I'm going to tell people. If it's good, I'm going to tell people. I want to keep this like I do all my other mowers for 5 or 6 years. And I actually thought I'd keep this longer because I'm not doing the mowing I used to do. I don't really do cleanups anymore. Once in a while I might get called where someone's having a wedding and wants a field mowed that they don't normally mow, and I'll bush hog it if it's that bad. So sometimes you got to go back with something like this. And I agree. Them days, like my Cub Cadet that I just got rid of, I did some pretty aggressive mowing with that, because we did have one. I had to mow like 5 acres with it one time that hadn't been mowed for quite a few years. And I knocked it down with the 2501, let it dry out for a few weeks, and because they knew there was a wedding coming up. I found out that's why they had me do it anyways. But I went back with that Cub Cadet and gave it a hot supper, and it handled it. Another thing I'm going to say is all but the one that's a quarter mile away, the two Husqvarnas and the Cub Cadet are all running on the original bearings and the mowing deck and everything else. They're longevity machines. I don't believe I'm going to keep this like I normally would the 5 or 6 years. If an opportunity comes up, because I also don't feel like I'm selling someone a piece of crap, but a homeowner that's got like a ½ acre to mow would probably be happy with this. I don't believe I'm going to like that bagger, and it's too bad because I love the way it was built. It went on way more simple than past ones I've put on 0 turns. Today's the first day I tried bagging with it, and that tube clogged 3 times. So I'm going to say the same thing with the bagger that I do the machine. Better choices to make than a Toro. It took me, I had this machine for 6 or 7 months before this came in, and they, COVID, that's what everybody used. Oh, because of COVID, we're not getting stuff. This machine sat at the dealer after I bought it for maybe 4 months plus. I picked it up while snow was still on the ground. I didn't get this bagger until late in the season. I didn't even end up using it. I just put it on a week ago. So Toro can't say, well, parts availability, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you go to the big box stores right now, you can buy the Home Depot sells this pretty much same thing with a Kohler motor on it. And I'm not going to say bad about Kohler neither, because I got a couple. I got one on my sawmill, my big splitter I just bought. I believe that's what was on the one I just sold, the one I replaced with this. Had the Kohler motor on it. I had no issues with them. I changed the oil a couple times this summer. But this is going to be my second review, and all I'm going to have I don't want to get in trouble with people, because some people, I've had good luck with my Toro. My experience with this thing, I believe I'm going to be replacing the battery, because I've had to jump start it twice this spring already. I've had a couple wires that weren't connected properly, I don't believe. Again, another guy commented on my last one that, I think you're having issues with your dealer. I do have issues with the Toro dealer. So I guess the best thing I can do, I'm going to end this video with my experience with this. Not very impressed. Not for the money. If this cost me $3,200 like my past mower did, which all of them now are getting up towards that $5 grand mark by the time you put a bagger on them. But I just believe for that kind of money, there's better choices to make. I believe I'm going to be going back to another Cub Cadet, just because I look back at what I did with that. The Husqvarna I have, the guy next door to me bought that I had. I don't want to say I abused it, but I use that machine. He uses that machine because this is a camp. He comes up and mows that yard like every 4 or 5 weeks, so it's earning its keep when it does mow. And like I said, he's never had to put a bearing in the mower deck or nothing yet. And I can hear him smack rocks with it. It's a Husqvarna, I'm going to say. And that's something I'm going to say. My original Husqvarna was like, to me, was like driving a bulldozer. It was like, the Cub Cadet I got rid of, it just was comfortable. It turned like real nice. This thing here turns, I would think with the commercial stuff they got out there, that they would have this thing just sweeter to drive, I guess is the way I'm going to put it. Going across this terrain behind me, it's a hilly terrain, I'll give them that. But like, I like mowing it this way one time and then I mow up the other. When you're mowing it this lengthwise on that hillside, you pay attention the whole time you're driving it, because if you don't, it wants to walk down. The Cub Cadet I got rid of would walk across, it would go across here and stay straight. And you could just like relax in the seat. This thing here, you're like holding it like you're trying to keep a bulldozer in line. That's the feeling I get. Then when you go to turn, it will tear up what's underneath if you get real aggressive with it. You just get that Cub Cadet, I'm like, all right, I'm comfortable with it. Maybe that's why I don't like this. I've been on this hours now, last season and this season, and this is the third time I've mowed this field. I've mowed my commercial properties, actually 2.5. I did one of them 3 times, the other 2. But there's acres that I've mowed with this spring again. So like I said, I've got hours on this thing. I'm never going to be happy with it. And it's just because I had other ones to compare it to. I thought it would be like, well, once I get a few hours on it, it will become comfortable to me. It's not. On this hilly terrain, this thing, you're like aggressively paying attention to it. If you had to run, like if a homeowner, and everybody says, oh, buy a commercial one. There's homeowners I know up here that buy farms for camps. They'll come up from the city and they're buying the farms up here as camps. So they're mowing 5-acre fields when they come up. That's what they're getting away from the city. They enjoy it. I couldn't imagine that I had to mow 5 or 6 acres with this all the time. You would feel exhausted compared to other brands that are out there. And I'm going to say that because I've had them to compare it to. But this is going to be my last video on this, because I'm going to tell you right now, things aren't going to get better. I've had to wrench on it already. Nothing failed, but stuff loosened up. Probably dealer's fault. I don't know. I'm actually impressed with the way the heaviness and how that's built. I like how the baggers hang on better than I did my Cub Cadet that I just got rid of. That's built more robust. Doesn't work though, so what good is it? I think this mowing deck's probably welded better, but it doesn't work as well. Like, what I find with this mower, another thing I found that I don't like, is that it doesn't have that vacuum effect. And everybody say, oh, put lift blades on it. I shouldn't have to put lift blades on a $5,000 mower. It just seems like a lot of dust comes out and doesn't go out to shoot. It ends up all over the mower, which is, this is the worst one out of probably 6 I've had, as far as the crap that falls back onto this mower and on you when you're using it. And like I said, today, this isn't what I would call, that's grass that should vacuum up. I don't care what anybody says about it. I've had some piece of crap baggers on my mowers in the past, and they work better than this. Were they built as good as this? No, but what good is having something that's built robust and heavy that doesn't work? It's impressive to look at, horrible to operate, as far as I'm concerned. And it's not going to get better, so this will be my last video on this. I'm anxious to see what the comments are, because I know there's going to be at least 2 that said, well, you need to buy a commercial mower. No, I don't need to buy a commercial mower. My last 4 mowers were homeowner mowers, and that's all I'm ever going to buy. I'm never going to mow the amount of grass again in my life as far as my business. I've actually stepped away from that pretty much, other than the commercial accounts that are year-round contracts. So I'm going to end it here, and I'm kind of anxious to see what the comments are going to be, because they'll be good and bad. But I have found there's a couple guys on there that beat me up, or your business, you got to buy a commercial mower. Everybody else seems to be having the experience I'm having with way worse, actually. They're having like bearing failure and everything else. So if you like my content, I'd appreciate if you like and subscribe, and you'll see more videos. It's funny because this morning this was a tool I bought. As far as I'm concerned, this is a tool for me to use. I bought this thinking I was going to be real impressed, and I wasn't. What I used before this video is I have a DeWalt electric blower that I bought thinking this is probably going to be a piece of crap, but I'm actually impressed with it. So again, any tool I buy that's good, I'm going to tell you it's good. Any of them that's going to say that they're going to be bad, if they treat me bad, I'm going to tell people don't buy. So all I'm going to say is I wouldn't buy this. There's better choices for the money. I think any other choice for the money. I'm hearing good and bad about the Husqvarna zero turn. Some people said they're slow. That's another thing. I don't believe this operates as fast as they say it does, because it's supposed to be as quick as my Cub Cadet, and I can tell you right now it's not. And if you did go full speed, it doesn't mow good enough to where, why go fast if you got to go back and remow? If you look at this field, even bagging it this morning, there's a little, every time I turned it would lose some, because it's not working real well. So again, I'm going to say I'm going to end the video. I hope I don't offend anybody or get Toro mad, but all right, thanks for watching.